of it, they decided to go in business together. Him, one of their wives is also involved. And 7 months ago, the place launched. It was rocking and rolling. Then COVID hit, and now they're looking to recover, but they're doing it in a very clever way by asking people on their Facebook
Okay.
to
Are you
share the
ready?
name of the place. Yeah, we're
All right,
ready.
we're going to get started. Hey, everybody, this is Suzanne Johns. I'm here with Jay Mamie and Jake Jordan for Business First Responders. And we are so excited today. This actually is Tuesday, the 26th of May. And Jay is out with one of our small businesses, and he's able to talk to them about the before and after COVID and how they're trying to recover. So we wanted to give this business owner a little time to get some exposure and hopefully get some new customers that'll come down and share their experience at their new location that they're at. So Jay, why don't you tell us a little bit about these guys? This is
So,
this, yeah, we
Suzanne,
can
here's a
see
great
it.
example of what happens when you stick you plant your flag, and come hell or high water, you're gonna make it. You've decided you're gonna make it. And so I'm standing in front of friends, and Friend and Foe was right up Custer Road here. It's a board game cafe. It's a wonderful idea. But the guys who started this literally 7 months ago launched this business. Things were going great. Then all of a sudden COVID hit. And obviously we know the rest of that story. But I only came to find out about them when one of them decided to go on Facebook, sort of like what we've been chatting about, reach out to friends, do collaborations. And as a result of that, they posted on Facebook, hey, we need help. Now, that takes a lot of pride, a lot of swallowing of pride as a business owner to get out there on social media and say, I need help.
Right.
And these guys did that. And their basic plea for help was, look, we understand coming into the store may not be the thing that's most appealing to you. But in the meantime, can you share with others our business? Can you share with them our concept and that we're here? We're still here. And as a result of that, I've got a feed that popped up on my Facebook page yesterday. I immediately thought to myself, these guys would be great for the show. I've had a chance to chat with them already. They're super guys. We're going to go inside and chat with them, okay? So come on,
Great.
follow me.
And you're on you said Custer and what? What's the other location?
They're on Custer Road.
Yeah.
And so we're coming in right now to have a chat with them. I want to introduce you guys to two super guys, entrepreneurs at heart. We've got over here, we got Brad, and we've got Corey back there. So Corey was just about a community organizer in the sense of he did everything but run a restaurant, pretty much. And my friend here, Brad, was a teacher and a coach. So both of them fully qualified to run a restaurant. But actually, Brad's wife had restaurant managerial experience. So I want to ask them while we've got them on live and we're having some fun here. By the way, guys, this place is gorgeous. If you look at it, it really has a game room feel to it. You've got all sorts of games on the wall. You can come in here behind me. If you see that whole deck, the shelves are just full of all sorts of games, very nostalgic games. And of course, you can come by here by the bar and grab yourself something to drink. They got a beautiful espresso machine right here. I just saw the man make espresso. It was looking very delicious. I'm going to grab myself a cup before I go. But just a question for these two fellas. So guys, what actually inspired you, having no experience, to decide we're going to go into a restaurant?
Well, for me, I mean, being a school teacher, I loved it. I mean, at my heart, I'm a teacher. Luckily here, I get to teach games, so I get to carry some of that over. But it was just the idea of I wanted to me and my wife wanted to work together, and we wanted to put something together that we cared about. And it's like, let's find something we're passionate about, and let's figure out a way to make money with it.
Wonderful. And what about yourself?
I mean, so Brad got me into board gaming. Kind of grew the hobby myself. But when he called me and asked if I wanted to start a cafe centered on board games with him, I already trusted him, lived with him for a while, and I was like, sure, why not? Let's do this. And so I was just kind of at a point in my life where I could do something different, and I did.
Wonderful. So you took a risk.
Yeah.
Guys, that risk was based on friendship.
Yeah.
It was based on friendship. It based on the fact that he could trust the other person. They both could trust each other to take the risk together. There's a lot of there's a big message behind that one there. But the idea of a board game cafe, where did that come from?
I love board games. So one day, me and my wife we were driving back from visiting my parents. It was
You
like,
need to speak up.
do. I'd be like, I love board games.
Just speak up a little bit.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
could.
Speak up. Sorry about that. Anyway, my wife and I, we were talking one time after visiting my parents, and we were driving back up to the DFW area, and she asked, well, if you weren't a teacher, what would you like to do? And I was like, well, I love playing board games, so I don't know. Anyway, from that, we came up with this idea. She had restaurant experience. I love board games. It's like, let's mix the two together and see what happens. So that's kind of where the idea came from.
All right. And so your wife was excited about the idea.
Oh yeah, she's the one who pushed me into it. I can be risk averse, and she's the one who's like, let's take a chance. This is a good idea. Let's go for it.
So you just started 7 months ago. Tell everyone how things launched. 7 months ago, what was happening? The place I hear was rocking. People having a great time coming in and just bringing their family and bringing their kids and eating and having a board game and so on. Tell us a little bit about that environment early on before COVID.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was pretty hopping. I mean, from week one, we had regulars. We had people come and check us out, and then start coming every week. Surprisingly, we just get a lot of the crowd. We thought we were going to tap into the big board game crowd that's here up in Plano. There's a couple developers, Madness, hobby shop across the street. But really, we're just getting a lot of people who are looking for something that's not a bar, but not the movies, but something that they're familiar with, which is the board games. And so with the combination of board games and beer and wine and coffee, it just kind of grew, and word of mouth spread, and
Really good sandwiches.
really good sandwiches. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But it just kind of went from there, and I don't know. It's like the perfect storm.
So what would you say if a patron comes in, someone visits your location, what do you want them to experience when they come in and when they leave, and what they should go back and tell their friends about the place?
There's a bunch, but one thing right off the bat is we're really big on community. And one of the things that we like about board games is they bring people together face to face. And so we want them to come in and say, hey, look, this is a really good place just to hang out, to be with friends. We do a board game mixer, so it's a night where you can meet new people and play games. So the community is really big. The other thing is they walk away and they were like, that food was really good. And that could be a restaurant just in and of itself, even without the board games.
Yeah, I mean, I guess on top of that, we get a lot of responses just because we're so new, or the idea is so new that people don't know what to expect. So they might think hobby store, and it's going to be like either lowly lit or filled with dudes, stereotype of the hobby store, or like a coffee shop where they have to kind of be quiet, it can't be really loud, or a restaurant where you high turnover, where none of that, right? So my favorite thing is when somebody walks in and they're like, oh, this place is a lot brighter than I thought it was going to be. And it's like, yeah, we're a board game cafe. Come play games. And they just enjoy themselves the whole time. It's pretty great.
Well, guys, you got a chance to get a real glimpse from the two of the three owners here. You hear their heart, you hear their spirit, their intent. They just want to bring people together, have a good time, play some board games, and enjoy the food as well. So I encourage you, make sure that you jot down friend and foe. And what's the address, guys?
2929 Custer Road, Suite 312, Plano, 75075.
All right, we're going to put that on our Facebook page anyway. I encourage you guys, come out, support these guys. Brand new business, just got started, on the way up. Now they're coasting because of COVID, but with the intention of these two guys here and their heart, I'm sure that this place is going to rebound big time. So you make sure you come down here and support them. Okay, Susan, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Excellent. Well, we're so glad you guys came on the show, and we hope we can get you some new customers. That's the objective of all of this. It's business first responders, is to be successful, and for you guys to be able to be fantastic after this. So I thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Thanks, Jake.
Okay. we'll be
Okay.
back soon.
Jake, have you got a new guy coming on?
Well, I just texted him, so let me see here. He says he's
All right,
ready.
well, let me have your number so I can
Okay.
send you information on next Tuesday's Abundance Connector Zoom meeting. Whatever it is.
I also think that, what did he say the address was? 2929 Custer Road in Plano?
Correct.
Okay.
2929 Custer Road.
Okay, good.
Got it. We'll get that on the post today.
All right.
Cool. Well, I've got Godwin ready. He's in the waiting room. So if we want to bring him on as well, we can do that.
Well, I don't even know how do I do that.
I got it.
Oh, good, because I was
Remember, I'm running.
I don't have a waiting room. Mine is disabled, so.
All right. 1 second here. All right. He should be popping on here any second.
There he is. Well, hi there. How are you?
Doing great. Yourself?
I'm great. And your name is Godwin?
Godwin Dixon, yes.
All right. Godwin, what do you do? I'm Suzanne Johns. You obviously know Jake, and then Jay Mamie is out on the site with another restaurant that's a small business. So how about if you tell us a little bit about you?
Great. Well, thank you. So my name is Godwin Dixon. I am a career senior care professional. I have worked in the Dallas-Fort Worth area since 1992. Led some of the highest upscale communities in North Dallas. And then I had the honor of leading the Presbyterian system for 17 years.
Wow.
But always had a dream of owning my own and decided that if I was ever going to do it, now was the time to do it. So my business partner, Teresa Whittington, who's an RN/BSN, and I embarked on this path about 3 years ago, and we're getting ready to open our first site.
Oh, wow. Okay. So where are you going to open your first site?
We're going to be opening in Craig Ranch, McKinney.
Oh, okay.
And
Boy, that's a nice
those-
place.
Yes, for those not familiar with that part of McKinney, it's basically where where McKinney, Allen, Plano, and Frisco all come together. So
Right.
it's right in that corner right there at 121. Craig Ranch is a beautiful, beautiful area, and it was designed as kind of a best practice community. They have incredible wellness programs, incredible lifestyle programs, some of the coolest restaurants and businesses there. And David Craig, who was the founder, had always had a dream of having everything covered from beginning of life to end of life. And he had birth centers, he had the beginning, but he didn't have a senior care option. And so he was really excited to have us work and has actually helped us make this come to be.
Oh, that's wonderful. So tell us a little bit what Teresa's house does.
All right. So technically, we are assisted living and memory care.
Okay.
And so assisted living is kind of a go-between in between independent living and nursing homes.
Mhm.
But the reality is most people can find that assisted living meets their needs long-term. But assisted living is really for people who physically need help, but their minds are still good. Memory care is just what the name suggests, people who
Right.
are having issues with memory. And so they need, that's my alarm to sign on for daycare. Those are people who need help because of memory deficits. And so often they need a secured environment, but they also need a building that is actually designed to cue them to make up for the deficits in their memory. So
Mhm.
just as an example, a person who has memory issues will forget where the bathroom is. And you can imagine how uncomfortable and desperate you'd be if you had to go to the bathroom and you couldn't find it. So a well-designed memory care center actually has things that cue you to figure out where the bathroom is. They also have wardrobes that cue you how to continue to dress yourself. And so much like if you ever had dementia, whether that's Alzheimer's, Lewy bodies, vascular, or the others, you're kind of lost in a fog.
Yes.
And you need a good guide to come take you by the hand and get you
Mhm.
through a really difficult process. And that's where we come in. So that's
That's
what we do on the
wonderful.
memory care side. On the assisted living side, we provide outstanding healthcare services while also giving a fun life and continued engagement and continued meaning to people whose bodies are starting to go on them. And we need to supplement and provide that care.
Now, I'm assuming you have a community center as well, and do you provide all of the restaurant facilities and things like that for them, or how does this work?
So senior care is done in a variety of modes. In the 17 years I ran the Presbyterian system, we had huge campuses. We had one campus that had over 300 people living on it, another had over 700. And we had, similar to what you described, we had big apartment complexes, we had big dining halls, we had big wellness centers, we had
Mhm.
all those sort of things. And that's right for some people.
Mhm.
But my business partner, Teresa, back in 1997, sketched an idea out for me. And she said, you know what, Godwin, most people would prefer to stay at home. But the problem is nobody's home is designed for senior care. And if you're home by yourself, that's not good for you either.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean they want to be somewhere with hundreds of people. Because especially as we age, if you're in your later 70s or in your 80s, that's a lot of people to keep track of. That can be very disorienting. So she said, I want to create a small environment where we can really focus on a person as an individual. Because if we've got 80 to 100 people, kind of all have to eat the same thing, kind of all have to do the same activities because we can't personalize it. But in a setting where we only have 12 to 16, we can personalize it. So our model is not a facility. My friend who developed these in Kansas calls his home pluses. They are home, but better. And that's actually our tagline, is just like home, only better. We build them as true custom homes, but they are
Okay.
custom homes with bedrooms for 12 to 16 people, but they have an open kitchen, just like you have at home, an open dining room, an open living room. Everybody comes together, kind of like a fraternity or a sorority for seniors.
Okay.
And they're really cool. Having spent my whole career in these, when I walked into one of these, I was blown away. It was like, that's where I'd want to be cared for. That's where I'd want my family member to be cared for.
Okay. So I'm assuming this is on single level. Is that right? Or do you
Yes.
have that? Okay.
Basically,
Okay.
think a big ranch house.
Okay. Gotcha. So then you have up to what, 5 in a house?
So no, anywhere from
6?
12 to 16.
Oh, 12 to 16 and oh,
Yes.
that is a big house.
12 to 16. So yeah, these are about 11,000 square foot homes, anywhere
Oh
from
my gosh.
10,500 to 11,500. They're
Mhm.
nice, big, good size. So you think a big luxury custom house,
Mhm.
that's where it comes in. And when we first walked into one of these, we walked in and the staff member was cooking in the kitchen. Now, this was an open kitchen. In traditional settings, the kitchen's hidden. You don't see the food get made. We come
Mhm.
out and serve it to you.
Right.
And that's nice when you're at a restaurant, but if every meal for the rest of the life I come serve you, that reminds you you're not at home. When we walked in, the staff member was cooking in the kitchen. And if you think about it, if somebody comes to your house and you're in the kitchen cooking, where do they go?
To the
To
kitchen.
the kitchen. And where does everybody feel comfortable gathering? In the kitchen.
Mhm.
And so as the staff member was cooking, all the residents were gathered around the kitchen, just having a great time, making suggestions, doing taste tests, and giving tips and whatnot. And Fred, my partner that had created this, said as soon as the meal is over, or as soon as they're done cooking, everybody goes and eats together. And then everybody's going to come back in. And while she's cleaning dishes, everybody's going to come back in. And she said, and that's why my residents don't feel like they live in a facility, because this truly is home. And we're like, that's the coolest thing we've ever seen. So that's what we're creating, but a very, very nice version of that.
That's wonderful. I've never, like I said, that is a concept I've not seen. I am in charge of my husband's parents when they went into assisted living, and then
Yeah.
his mother did go into memory care.
Okay.
Was pre-Alzheimer's and
Yeah.
that type of thing. So we completely understand, and I've done tons of research on this type of
Yep.
this project
Yes.
in different states, because
Yeah.
it varies from state to state. That's for sure. So now
So-
you guys have nursing care right there on the campus, or?
So we will have 24/7 licensed nurses in the building. Now
Okay.
that's not a requirement of assisted living.
No.
And so very few assisted livings actually have a nurse. And if they do, they rarely have them in the evenings and never at night.
Okay.
Assisted livings are not required to have even certified people passing medications. That leads to a lot of errors with medications.
Yeah.
We will have 24/7 actual certified, state certified medication aides, state certified nursing assistants, and licensed nurses on site providing the care, because that's how you do it right.
Mhm.
In addition, on our memory care unit, we have kind of a unique concept. This is one I've done a few times, where we call them degreed caregivers. And this was a concept I first came upon. In the late 90s, I traveled the country and I looked at the top memory care centers in the nation. And I went into one, interestingly, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a center called Inverness Village. And I looked at the staff and I said, all right, those folks don't look like any staff I've ever seen. And they said, they're not. They all have degrees in psychology. And I said, you have hands-on caregivers with degrees in psychology? They said, yes, and it's great. I said, how'd you pull that off? They said, well, if you have a degree, a bachelor's in psych, you can't do much with it. And these kids have to go back and get their master's, but often they want to take a year or two off before they go back. So they end up working as waiters and waitresses or bartenders.
Mhm.
And we say, come work with our residents. You'll get great experience that will make you much better at your future career. And these were folks who actually were fascinated and wanted to understand what was going on with the memory care deficits.
Sure.
So as an example, if you have Alzheimer's, you interpret things very differently than somebody that says Lewy body dementia or vascular dementia or frontal lobe dementia.
Yes.
The brain damage impacts you very differently. That is beyond a lot of your average nurse aides. But you get a person with a psychology degree or social work or healthcare, they love it and they're fascinated by it. And they actually understand how to work with folks. So we're able to provide a much better level of care while giving them experience.
Mhm.
Now, when I saw that, I loved it because when I was in college, I worked as an orderly in a local facility for those with mental challenges.
Mm.
And we actually recruited a bunch of college kids because we found the college kids were wanting to save the world, wanting to make a difference. We did a much better job. So we're going to do that same concept with our memory care residents, and we're pretty excited about it.
That's absolutely wonderful. I love that concept.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
so
Hey, Godwin.
now, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jake.
Yes, Jake.
I was gonna say you broke ground in January, right? Isn't that where you guys started kind of the construction part of it?
We broke ground actually in April. We did a ceremonial groundbreaking last April.
Oh.
Really, construction got fully under swing in June. And so we're coming up on just about a year of construction when we get our first building open.
Okay, so I wanted to frame that up because you didn't decide to start this during all this going on, right? This
No.
is something that you've been working on.
Yes, no, we coronavirus wasn't even on anybody's radar when we got this started. But interestingly, you would have thought we designed these centers with coronavirus in mind, because being senior care professionals, we know that the flu is very dangerous for our seniors. So we built in a lot of safeguards for the flu, having no idea a pandemic would come. But the end result was we have possibly the safest building in Texas because of everything that we've put into it. Most senior care buildings are built by developers who don't necessarily have a healthcare background, and they put them up and they kind of do the basics and they make them pretty. We made ours beautiful, but we also put a lot of extra things in. We have some state-of-the-art ventilation systems. We don't share ventilation from patient room to patient room, resident room to resident room. So if we have somebody sick in one room, it doesn't travel to the next room. We actually will have UV lighting systems in our ventilation system in the common areas so that as the air circulates, it is cleaned. That is something that is done in operating rooms during operations to keep the air clean. We have done a lot of those things that most people wouldn't think about. We do because we're career senior care people. In addition, our smaller size centers are a great benefit to keeping folks safe because we just have less people coming and going. As I said, I've run communities with hundreds of people. That's a lot of people coming and going. Our center with only 12 or 16, we don't have many people coming and going. And then in addition, because all of our staff are either degreed, licensed, or certified, these are people who understand infection control and are much better at keeping themselves safe outside of work and inside work. So we're much safer at keeping it out. And if we ever did have to deal with it, we've got all the safety measures in place.
I know I was definitely impressed when you told me about the concept, and I'm still learning more, even though I work, with you in different ways right now. And I'm just thoroughly impressed that someone actually took an idea and did all the things they said they wish they could do. Lots of people have great ideas, so I continue to be impressed by it. So that's awesome.
Well, thank you. So all my years in the not-for-profit world, so I cut my teeth in the for-profit world, and obviously we were driving to do a very good job, but also to make a very strong bottom line. In the not-for-profit world, we said, let's take quality to the next level. And so our approach now is a balance of both. In our days in the not-for-profit world, we researched everything to make sure that every last thing had been thought of. But we also have found, and what I always say is the right moral decision is generally the right business decision. And even if it's not, we're going to do what's morally correct. It was morally correct to build these centers with all of these extra safeguards in them. Now with the pandemic, it's certainly going to prove to be the right business decision because we're going to be able to stand out as a much, much safer system. In addition, having the nurses 24/7 is huge because if a senior gets coronavirus, their symptoms show up very differently than you and I would. So where younger people will exhibit a cough, they'll be sneezing, they'll have a fever, a senior often doesn't. They may not show any of those. They may just seem a little bit out of it, and then they crash. And by that point, it's too late. So you need to have a community where you actually have nurses monitoring folks to say, you know what, something's not right here. Mrs. Smith doesn't seem herself. Let's put a pulse ox on her finger. Let's see what her oxygen levels are. Oh, hey, that's dropping. Let's jump on it now before it becomes a crisis. We will have 24/7 nurses, and my business partner is a registered nurse. We have had to become experts on coronavirus. We're set in this in a way others aren't. So we feel very good about it.
So I don't know, do you mind sharing how much it costs to actually be in one of your locations?
Sir, I'd be happy to. So the average, we range. So the least expensive room would probably be in the upper 5,000 range. The most expensive room would be just a touch over 10,000. So, you know, we can get you in at just about any price point.
Okay.
Now, interestingly, one of my investors decided to invest when he realized his father, who had never been more than a security guard in his life, could afford us, because he actually had $200,000 and he had a reasonably strong monthly income from a pension. And so even though those numbers sound big, most people can afford it. And for those that can't, we can recommend them to other places. But if you really want the quality, you kind of have to pay for quality. And otherwise, you're going to be at a community that don't have the nurses, don't have the extra support.
Absolutely.
But you're going to anywhere from that upper 5,000 to 10,000 range, with most of the units falling in the 7,000 to 8,000 a month range.
Now, remember, I've done nothing but research in the standard
Yep.
memory care and senior care. So do you guys have meal programs or anything like that?
Oh, yes. No, so we're a big believer in home cooking. I've always felt very strongly that once you have first-class facilities and once you have first-class care, that it's what people do during the day, as in their activities, and what they eat during the day, which define quality of life. And so this is something that we're going to have a wonderful meal program, heavily aimed around comfort food. We want folks to enjoy, but also healthy food, because food is your fuel. And if you put good food in, you're going to function a lot better. And the quality of food you have coming in impacts your brain, all of it. So we're actually going to be doing a lot of organic foods, because they just don't have as much processed things in. We don't need to be loading people up with chemicals and sodium, especially when they've already got compromised in other areas. So it'll be a high quality food and very nutritious food, and then really fun activity programs. And we're going to eat very high quality food so we can also enjoy dessert.
Well, of course.
I like it.
Have to have this. Ice cream, Bluebell.
Yes, yes. Homemade ice cream, all the good stuff.
There you go.
Matter of fact,
Perfect.
I've been experimenting with some recipes just to pull some fun things there on the side.
Oh,
So
that's
we're going to have
excellent.
fun with this place.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see it. When is your grand opening?
So when you're opening senior care, you are dependent upon first the city approvals and then the state approvals.
Right.
And that's the $64,000 question. We are
Okay.
expecting to get our certificate of occupancy on the first of our 3 houses right around June 10th. Then we have to submit a request for the state to come out. Now, they have been coming out pretty quick because they weren't doing their normal surveys because of coronavirus. However, if they open back up again, they have a big backlog of surveys. So we're either going to get surveyed really quick, or we're going to get pushed to the back of the line, and we're not really sure which right now. But we are hoping, if all goes well, to maybe end of June, probably more like the 1st of July, be opening. But somewhere in that July timeframe is when we're projecting for our first building, which is our memory care, and our assisted living to fall on the heels a couple weeks behind it.
Okay.
Now,
Well,
the nice thing is you can't tour most senior care communities right now because you're not allowed in.
right.
You can with us because we haven't admitted anybody. So if anybody wants to come see it, we can
There
give
you go.
tours, and
Perfect.
it's pretty impressive.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful. So how you want to make sure and give Jake your contact information so we
Sure.
can put it on our site. And
Great.
that way, if people do want to come in and take a tour, they can do that. They can contact you directly
Thank
so
you.
that you can show them around, tell them all about your facilities and all of
Yes.
your different things that you have going on and programs that you offer. Because I trust me, that's very unusual.
Yes.
And I commend, I just kudos to you for doing that. I commend you. That's so wonderful. I've found nothing but heartache and hardship trying to find facilities for my own parents and my husband's parents.
That's one of those, a good care center can do better than just about anybody at home because I've got a fresh group of staff coming on every 8 hours. The key is a good community. And as you all know, there's a lot out there that aren't doing what they need to be done.
Oh, no.
This is a community that the owner operators are incredibly experienced, and we're going to be personally running it. And we're not planning to just fill it to flip it. We're going to run these for the rest of our career. So when you meet us walking in the door, we're the folks you're going to be dealing with for the entire time.
That's
And
excellent.
that we're putting our name on it, Teresa's name. Teresa's my business partner. It's Teresa's house. This is our community where we live. We're standing behind this, and it's going to be pretty special.
We love it.
That's
I
great.
love it.
He's actually got some cool stuff where he's touring people now a lot actually. And up on his Facebook page, we'll put that link up there. You can actually go watch people's reactions after the tour and some stuff on
Oh,
what he's doing,
good.
like the wardrobes and the air filtration, a bunch of really cool stuff he's got up on his Facebook page. So I'll
Okay.
definitely, if you have any interest, definitely go check out those videos.
Teresa's House, Craig Ranch, McKinney. Check us out on Facebook. Our website, we've got a temporary website up right now at teresashouse.com. Our new website will be launching maybe later this week, first next week. It's going to be amazing. So best bet is Facebook right now, Teresa's House, Craig Ranch, McKinney.
Okay. Well, we will put that on our website as well, or our Facebook page, so that everybody can find that information and come and see you. We're so glad you came on, Godwin. I'm happy to know all about your place that you put together, and I'm so thrilled. Trust me, this is, you find really quickly that you'll be full before you'll know it, and there will be a huge demand for what you're doing. So I hope you have expansion in your plans for future.
Well,
soon.
interestingly, I will tell you, when we describe what we're doing, folks like Jake are like, wow, that seems neat. Folks like you who've gone through it with parents are like, oh my gosh, is this needed? Because once you've been through it with a family member, you understand why nurses matter and why certified people passing meds matter. Because after you've been to the emergency room a few times with a loved one for something that shouldn't have ever happened, you realize why those things matter. And so, Jake, we're glad to educate you, but Suzanne, we're really thankful to have folks like you, and let's spread the word that
I
all these
have
matters,
been through it
24/7 nursing
all.
matters.
I know I've not seen everything, but I've been pretty darn close.
Thanks for the chance to be on and tell everybody about Teresa's House.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Godwin. Appreciate you.
All right, so Jake, are you ready? Or you've got everybody? We don't have anybody else today, do we?
We don't, and Jay bailed, I think. So I think
Oh,
we're gonna.
that's okay. He's busy having a latte at the
Perks of the job, right?
Yep. Yep. He said he was gonna have I think really it was because they serve wine and beer too. I don't think it was so much a latte. I think it was more the wine and beer. So,
Okay.
it is that time of day,
It is.
why
is.
not?
Well,
All
that was
right.
two good guests, wasn't it? That was fun.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate you bringing him on. That's great.
Yep.
And then hopefully on this Friday, I'll be having my guy from the taco bar in Plano. So
Okay.
thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. We are happy we could bring you two really nice small businesses here in North Texas, actually in Plano and McKinney, which is our home. And we want them to be successful, and we want you to be successful. So please keep coming back. We'll give you nuggets every chance we get. And we want you to see some really nice stories about people that are trying to make it happen, and actually that are. So
Yeah.
that's what counts. It's
Right.
the American
All right.
spirit.
That's right.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jake.